Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Superstar Picks Reviews, and I'm just going to get right into this. Now, obviously, Sasha Banks picked the match again because that's going to happen because throughout the rest of these few episodes, Sasha Banks has picked all the matches because these are Sasha Banks' picks. But let's talk about the match that she picked in this episode. So, this time she picked a match. This time she picked a match that took place on an episode of Monday Night Raw on December 6, 2004. It was a women's championship match. Women's champion Trish Stratus versus Lita, and there's obvious reasons why she picked this match as one of her favorite matches, and I'll get into that. Now, obviously, originally I was gonna come on and talk about how the woman never main evented Raw, but I just tried to do a previous take to this, and when I looked it up, woman had main evented Raw before on two rare occasions, so it completely has changed how I'm going to do this video. I don't even know how I'm going to do this video now, but this was one of the few times really where women have main evented Raw, and it did feel special that this match main evented Raw because normally, as everybody knows, women in WWE in the past in WWE have been looked at as eye candy. They haven't really been looked at for their skill more than their looks. So this time, this was kind of cool because the woman got the main event Raw, like just them. They main evented Raw, and in this match, they were looked at more as athletes than women's wrestlers, and I thought that was really cool. It did show that, like, if you wanted to be a woman wrestler in WWE, you would be presented as an equal, at least for this night, anyways. And yes, this isn't the first main event, but it's definitely like, one of the rare times before this previous women's revolution that women main evented Raw. It was really damn cool, and I loved it. So, why were Trish Stratus and Lita picked to main event this show? Well, they were kind of like the pioneers of the women's division around. Not only the pioneers, but they were kind of like the main focus of the women's division around this time. They were both great. They both started really something special. Trish Stratus was one of and Lita were both the top women in the WWE roster, or on the WWE roster, and it was really damn cool. And this feud, I thought, was tremendous. So obviously, they had feuded off and on in triple threat matches at WrestleMania and stuff like that, but here was different. This was more of a personal feud, because obviously Lita had the year of hell. She had to marry Kane, she had lost her baby in a miscarriage due to Gene Snitsky, and she just was having an awful life. And Trish Stratus would continuously rub it in her face, and knowing that Lita about it because she was pregnant and stuff, and really couldn't do much of a physical role. But once Lita was cleared to wrestle and stuff, she came and wanted to get revenge on Trish Stratus. So this led to a match at Survivor Series 2004 for the women's title, where Lita didn't really care about winning the championship. She just beat the shit out of Trish Stratus and injured her by doing like her version of a concerto by smashing her face right across with a chair while it was against another chair. And then Trish Stratus came out and was upset that she had to wear this face brace on her beautiful face, and she said that Lita was going to pay for what she did to her. So then Chris Jericho, who was acting as Raw GM at the time, for a different storyline reason that I won't really go into, made the match in the main event, Women's Championship match, Trish Stratus versus Lita. I thought the feud was set up quite nicely, and we had the match. And let's talk about the match. We had the commentary team of Jerry the Ken Lawler and Jim Ross. And this match just really worked. They both locked up, and they both just really wanted to get their hands on each other. And were so aggressive, they knocked themselves right out of the ring. Lita dominates getting forced in this matchup by beating the crap out of Trish Stratus. And we have one of the most scariest suicide dives ever done in the history of wrestling, when Lita hits the suicide dive on the outside onto Trish Stratus and ends up taking a really bad bump when she ends up landing like head first, and you would have thought she would have broken her neck, and it was even more scarier because she had neck surgery prior to this, so that was really damn scary. And then they get back in the ring, and Trish Stratus takes off her face mask and hits Lita with it behind the referee's back, and Trish Stratus gains the upper hand throughout the rest of the matchup. But then Lita starts to mount a comeback. She hits a wicked superplex right off the turnbuckles and tries to get the cover. Trish kicks out. Trish hits a wicked kick to the head on Lita. Tries to go for the cover. Lita kicks out, and then Lita hits a DDT right onto Trish Stratus. Goes for the moonsault. Trish Stratus fights out of it and hits a sleeper hold right on Lita, and then Lita counters into one of her own. But then eventually Trish hits a power bomb on Lita. Lita kicks out and then goes for the Stratus faction, but Lita counters it into an inverted twist of fate and then hits a moonsault, gets the win, and Lita becomes a new women's champion. And it was really a nice way to end off the show. And it was actually a really good match. I'll give it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And Lita just really looked, and this was just a huge night for women's wrestling that they got the main event Raw and got this type of showcase. It was really damn cool. And then obviously this didn't last very long because at New Year's Revolution, Trish Stratus won the championship back because Lita ended up getting injured in her knee in real life. So the feud got kind of stopped, and then when Lita was healthy to come back, I believe she had turned heel with Edge, and they did that whole Edge and Matt Hardy storyline, and she became like the top heel in the women's division. And then Trish Stratus meanwhile continued to reign as women's champion, and then eventually that led to they had their last match, Trish Stratus's last match in WWE when when Lita was the women's champion, and Lita defended the title against Trish, and it was Trish's last match. It was a retirement match, and Trish Stratus beat her in her hometown, which I kind of thought was very fitting because Lita beat Trish, and this match was in Lita's hometown, North Carolina, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then obviously Trish vacated the title since it was the last match, and then it led to a huge tournament where Lita won the tournament, won the women's title, defended it against Mickie James at Survivor Series, lost the title, and that was Lita's last match. And then once Trish and Lita left, the women's division was never the same, and it was pretty much that Divas division back to eye candy, but it was even worse because the Divas were presented in a way where they were just known as the piss break. I believe that's where the term piss break kind of came from, was from the shitty Divas division. And then obviously they had that Divas title come in and really ruin everything, and then Divas would just get in 2-minute matches on Raw. But then eventually they revamped the women's division in 2015. Really, if you think about it, 2016. Really, it was started in NXT in 2013 when the Paige was crowned as the first NXT Women's Champion, and NXT just really started that revolution. Then obviously TNA had started it originally first, but whatever. And then now the women are kind of seen as similar as the men because they wrestle in the cage matches, they wrestle in the Falls Count Anywhere matches, the extreme type of matches, and they just had the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber, Women's Money in the Bank, Women's Hell in a Cell, Women's Royal Rumble, which I hope they don't, which was really nice, but I didn't really like the fact they had 2 Rumbles in that night, but that's besides the point. They have and they're about to have an all-women's pay-per-view called Evolution, which I should be more excited for than I am. So overall, if you really think about it, though, the women's revolution really could have started here. It's just that the WWE really didn't do anything with this, so that's kind of a shame. But overall, this was nice. And what makes me really happy was that this match didn't happen today, because had this match had happened today, we would have had to hear 40 times that this was a women's evolution. This was more organic, and this is why I like this better. So I'm happy about that. That was pretty much this match. As for what Sasha Banks said, she said pretty much the same stuff I said, that women got to be seen equally as the males. She talked about how she liked Trish Stratus's heel work, and that it made her really hopeful that she could be a women's wrestler. So obviously, I thought that made sense, and that was pretty much the end of this review. As for what the commentators are, Jerry the King Lawler is pretty much a part-timer. He would commentate for a few more years, but he would turn into the face commentator in 2007. And then he commentated on Raw up until 2000. 15, and would go on to commentate SmackDown, and then he went on to do the panels, and then he became a part-time commentator. Jim Ross was the play-by-play guy on Raw until 2007. Then he was moved to SmackDown, and then he had this ball palsy attack, and now he's just pretty much a part-time commentator. He commentates WWE and has commentated a few New Japan Pro Wrestling shows, and that's pretty much where everybody went. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video. For more content, click on the bell and subscribe. Because you have to hit subscribe so you can click on the bell. You know all that. Do the same thing for my CM brothers. I know on the Talkinator YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.